with more research, I found that Africa is losing. And that is why I developed the concept called the Triple Loss. The Triple Loss is Africa sending the children to the West to study.
Okay.
Sometimes some of the best mind to some of the key universities here. Africa spends billions of dollars a year, every year, for study abroad. First, we lose the money, lose education achievement.
Yeah.
And we lose that to corporate, and corporate sell whatever our children produce.
Wow.
So at the end of the day, you know, when you look at the success and what those schools have produced, Africa has to go the same way. You cannot cut corners. No, our schools must be the same school as what we see here. Reason why we take the plane and we fly thousands of miles away. Fly into Ghana.
Yeah.
To go to OAU.
Yeah.
One Africa University. That is what we're trying to do. You save money. We build the capacity in Africa while they're on the ground. Our children, before they will finish, some will be Zuckerberg, some will be Elon Musk, some will be Bill Gates. When they finish, this will happen in Africa.
Yeah.
I know nothing good comes easy. There are those who even gave their lives before us. We have to carry on. But we have to carry on in a meaningful way to make sure tomorrow is good, to make sure the wealth underneath our feet in Africa, we want to make sure we are able to transform these resources, this wealth, monetize this wealth to make sure it can benefit our people. Because our people deserve better. No one will come to make our people's lives better. We have to make it ourselves. People can contribute to our effort. Our young people are dying in the desert. They are dying in the Mediterranean Sea, fleeing the land that is the wealthiest in the world. We have to make sure we work together to turn things around. And One Africa University, we need, as you say, hundreds of such universities in Africa. We need the support for all to make this a reality.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
By God's grace, I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
Good. Wow. I was trying to look at the date we have our first podcast together, you know. It was over a year, you know. It was 2022, you know. So
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, yes, we have been talking.
Yes.
And you are telling
Yes,
me
sir.
You are telling me something exciting.
Yes,
And I want my audience to also learn more, you know.
Yes.
And I will ask you a lot of questions. You have given me some inklings of what you are doing.
Yes.
And I will ask you some questions and to know more, you know. So
thank you.
Let's do this. Just briefly, very briefly, tell my audience who you are again. Just who you are, where you come from, what country in Africa, where you live right now, and then let's jump into it.
Thank you very much, Ikene, for inviting me again on your wonderful channel. I'm Eby Aka. I'm originally from Cote d'Ivoire. You know, sometimes we call it Ivory Coast.
Yeah.
I'm currently based in the United States, and I am a founding member of One Africa University Foundation, but I'm also the interim director. One Africa Foundation is a foundation of the One Africa University of Computer Science, Technology, and Engineering project. And the foundation is set up as a vehicle to establish the university in the twin cities of Elmina and Cape Coast in Ghana. So the foundation is based in the United States. And we have been on this for about 3.5 years.
Okay.
My background is in education, non-profit, educational non-profit, mentoring, writing, and you name it. But I've been all about youth, the youth.
Yeah.
And I want to tell you today, my dear friend, tell Africa and the world why I'm all about the youth. My view for the youth is this. To me, the youth is the future.
Yeah.
The youth is also the vehicle toward that future. The parent are the engine of that vehicle.
Okay.
The teachers are the fuel in that vehicle.
Okay.
And society as a whole is the road for that vehicle. So that is something very important that I've been holding here dearly in my heart that I wanted to share with you and share with our audience there today.
Wow, that's good. And see, this podcast, all we'll talk about is about this project. Because see,
Yes.
I'm a child of 2 teachers.
Yes.
Both my mother and father were teachers.
Yes.
And I truly believe that we have everything to catch up. Yes, I say catch up because Africa need to catch up.
Yes.
Okay. And the tool for us is the youth.
Yes.
And education is the key.
Yes.
For them to energize themselves and to do something in the world. So
yes.
I am very interested in this project you guys are running. I want to know about the origin of the project. I want to know the current status and all that. Okay, so let's start this way. How did this project come about?
Well, thank you so much for the question. 2 events led to that project. First of all, me as a teacher in Cote d'Ivoire, after spending a number of years teaching in our school system, I was invited to I was hired to teach in the American school based in Cote d'Ivoire, the International Christian Academy. The day I walked into that school, that was like a lot of, I see the school is just like a little school in America, you know, small, the place is like a small America. It's an American village in Africa. The day I walked into that school, I was lost. The infrastructure in place, the staff, how we care for the student. I felt like I had never been in a school.
Ooh.
The time I spent there, I shared the resources that didn't end, the experience I was getting there with the entire school system in the city of Bouake, where I was based, till I come to the US. When I came to the US, that passion kept growing. I never stopped. Serving the youth became more important than probably other goals that led me to the US. So I continued with another foundation, a foundation that I started here to support education in Africa. Through that foundation, the work of that foundation, I was invited in 2015, March, at the University of South Carolina to attend a symposium with the topic, Africa and the Information Society. So that was a symposium that gathered experts from around the world, across the United States, professors, computer science, data, cyber, you name it. So after that big focus in these different fields was when things were discussed, the presentations were, shared. I sat there. Africa was in the red everywhere. And I said to myself, now that Africa is in the red everywhere, so what? So I started talking to some of the professors. The key professor who invited me, Professor Kendra Albright, and people like Dr. Briggs, who today is here with us in this organization. And Professor Briggs said, maybe you need to draft something, and if you do, we'll talk about it. I'll take a look at it. I took 3.5 years. So we talk about 2015 to today, it's 9 years.
Yes.
3 years later, I reached out to him and with what I put together. And he looked at it and he said, this is interesting. And that is how I moved on to recruit all the people on board. We have a total 8 professors and other people highly qualified in different fields in the private sector. So that is how this project all started.
Yeah.
So my experience from Cote d'Ivoire at the American school to that symposium, also through the time I was working on my organization, I was searching more and more about education system in Africa, and precisely the education abroad. My findings were very, very shocking. And after I attended that symposium, the information I got from there sounded the alarm. So the more I researched, I found that Africa is losing. And that is why I developed the concept called the Tripple Loss for Africa when it comes to education. So the Tripple Loss is Africa sending the children to the West to study.
Okay.
Sometimes some of the best minds to some of the key universities here. Africa spends billions of dollars a year, every year, for study abroad.
Yeah.
But our student we send here will lose the education. Not only will lose the money.
Yeah.
Lose the education achievement.
Yeah.
And we'll lose that to corporate, and corporate sell whatever our children produce.
Wow.
Back to us.
Yes.
So when the more I read, the more I found about these things. I said, this is not normal. Something needs to be done. And what I'm talking about is very close to me. I cannot talk about it here, but two of my little ones in my family have been there.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's really what
your niece that you told me about. Yeah.
Yes, I cannot name the companies they work for.
Yes, you just mention that story you told me. Yeah, because it's important.
Yes. So they came here and one finished a major degree in STEM, working for one of the top companies in the world here, and the other one in Europe, working for one of the top sectors.
Yeah.
In the engineering.
Yeah.
So that is what I can say. All I can say.
Yes.
Here on this channel.
So what you're saying,
are very close to me.
Yes. So what you are saying is that we send our bright minds to Europe and America, and in the 80s, many of my mates, the smartest people, a lot of them actually went to Russia.
Yes.
Then, and to today, there are very few of these people, my mate, for example, who went to the West and the East, came back. Very few of them ever came back.
Yes.
They just stayed where they went to. The ones that went to Russia, actually, 3 of them eventually ended up in the US. So they go abroad, they learn all the good things, and they never come back to pour back to Africa.
Yes.
See, what you said it's very, very true. And
Yes.
it has been part of the reasons why, even though we have been spending that large chunk of money,
Yes.
foreign exchange, which is hard for us to earn,
Yes.
will pour you back to the countries where we ended the foreign exchange in the first place. Yes. And nothing comes back to Africa. Mm-hmm. Okay. They go, they work in the West, in Europe and America, and they repatriate some dollars or euros back to feed their relatives in Africa. Mm-hmm. That's not good enough. That is not good enough.
Develop Africa.
That is not good enough.
No.
Okay, so you came out with this thinking that, no, we need to do something. So yes. What did you do there?
So I decided that we needed to create a university.
Yeah.
A STEM-focused university. Technology, engineering, science. But a university that will be the same quality when it comes to the education, the same quality as the universities in the West.
Okay.
Because the question, we have our universities, we have some private universities that are being built, but the questions, why still people look at those schools and they said, no, we're still gonna send our children abroad. Of course, we can talk about jobs they may get, but at the end of the day, everybody knows what is at stake in Africa, on the continent.
Yes.
So looking at that, I say we need to create something of that kind to make sure we maintain, we keep our young people here, study here on the ground, all the myriads of opportunities coming to the continent, so they can be here and as they study, develop, their ideas that will contribute to the development of Africa. So that is why we decided to establish that university in Africa and the country of Ghana.
And hey, I will tell you, that is actually what we need to do. Now, like you mentioned, in Nigeria, for example, in the last 10 years, so many private university has been built, okay, and they're running. Yes. And people are actually, there are students there, a lot of students in the private school, in the private universities. And one of the reasons why they have a lot of students is because the public universities being run by the government, including ones I only attended government-run schools.
Yes.
Okay. So those schools are not adequately funded.
Yes.
Okay. They are not adequately funded. And unfortunately, I will not tell you right now that if I want to hire people in my country, I'm comfortable that if I pick an average student who graduated from one of the public universities, that I will get what I want. Okay, but
yes,
I will tell you, I've talked to several students who attended one of the private universities in Nigeria. In fact, I've interviewed two of them on this podcast.
Yes.
And they are pretty sound. Pretty sound. Now, one thing I haven't explored is that the courses they studied were not STEM focused. Okay, there was an economics, 2 economics actually, and 1 political science. Okay, but what you're doing is focused on STEM, and STEM is pretty important in the future economic development of Africa.
Yes.
Okay. One of the things you said you got from that symposium was that you were thinking about what is the future of the continent if we don't control many things like our telephone, internet, information security, all that. I do agree. We need to have more control on the continent, in our countries. I'm pro-Africa, very pro-Africa. But I don't want us, in our drive to develop Africa, to separate ourselves from the rest of the world.
Yes.
Okay, I don't want that.
Yes.
Because it to become us trying to go back. Okay, in those days, every empire does everything they need. No, see, I believe that what we need to continue to do is to collaborate.
Yes.
Okay, so in as much as I want us to build fantastic universities in Africa, and I see yours is just going to be one, I think we need several.
Yes, many. We need many.
Maybe up to 100, 200, because our continent is big.
Yes.
Okay, but whatever we do there is it's for the progress of humanity.
Yes.
Okay, so we will develop certain things, research certain things, and collaborate with other universities all over the world in the progress of the globe. What do you think?
So, very good point, as you always do. You know, your questions are pertinent. So, the problem we have, the world has always been a field competition. So, when I talk about a country that does not control its telephone, its internet, its data storage, its information, there's storage and security. It is, his search engine. So when you look at all of this, in the world of competition, leaders have a leader represent the people, and they drive the future of the people.
Yeah.
So in this world of a competition, somebody else, another country may be ahead in such or such thing, and countries have secret. Your secret is everything you have. Each country has its secret. But if as a country, you don't control your telephone system, you don't control anything, who are you in this world? The question is, who are you?
Yeah.
Of course, in many fields, we're going to cooperate.
Okay.
We in a global world, we talk about global economy. Everything we do it together. The economies are being developed together. This process will continue.
Okay.
But when it comes to information, information is like the blood in the veins of a people. You have to have some information that are key to your security, to everything. And if you cannot control those things and you are being listened, and it is a big problem.
I do agree too. I do agree with you totally.
So that is why I'm talking about that specific area.
Okay.
That specific area.
Yeah.
And one other thing that I wanted to talk about, I'm linking that to the past question.
Yeah.
So the type of school we want to build, we want to make sure the foundations are strong, because at the end of the day, the student take classes, go to the classes, they listen to the teacher, they take note. But in the tech world, you go to the labs, there's maker spaces, to the research centers. That is where you deepen what you listen and the note you take in the classroom. That is where you deepen them. And that is where inventions will be born.
Excellent.
Innovation will take place.
Yeah.
So in Africa, mostly, as I've been saying, we have been training half engineers. I don't know if I can call them half engineers, maybe.
I understand
engineers
you.
for, per se, read books and you become an engineer. The hands-on approach, that is the foundation of everything in the labs and all of these things, we don't have it. So the people, that is why for that specific school, as I said, I went to the University of Maryland. Not only I had explored many universities, key universities around the world, whether it's MIT, Stanford, Nanyang, Imperial College, the Denmark, School of Technology, the French Polytechnics. I have looked into all of these schools. So I say, okay, we want to build such a school. Okay, our first asset, number one, is the people. The number of people who have gathered on this board, who are smart and know exactly, those professors, they know exactly what we are talking about. They know what the world is facing. They know what Africa is facing. So one was to recruit those people. And the second, come back to the schools. So when I went to the University of Maryland and I saw the new Brandon Irobe Center for Computer Science, Technology, and Engineering, which is a new tech campus at the University of Maryland, opened in 2019. I went there, I met some professors, I met some students, and I said, who built this? Who built this cutting edge place? I said, HDR Inc. I said, Then near where I live here, the famous John Hopkins Center for Applied Physics.
Yeah.
With all the crazy satellites and all the big things are just about 5 miles from where I live. Another building there is an HDR Inc. building. I said, who is HDR? Let me dig. When I dug further in research, I found out that HDR is among the top 5 companies that develop, design, construct the advanced tech and technology and science facilities across the entire world.
Wow.
They have done it here, across Europe, across China, across Australia, everywhere except Africa.
Ooh.
And I said to myself, let me try to find out. I don't have money. Let me find out. So I started making calls. And HDR Inc., in fact, is based in Omaha, Nebraska.
Okay.
And that is a company with an annual revenue of more than $2 billion. So I started calling from the bottom all the way to the top of education branch. And I presented what we are doing. And I said, this is a great project. Because those companies, they know the need of the world and they know where Africa is. And they say, we're going to support you whatever we can.
Wow, that's great.
Yes. We're going to do all the design, the conception design, the plannings. We're going to do all of that for you as a donation.
Wow.
So when you go to our website, everything you see there is donated. The conceptual design that is there, HDR Inc. did that work, did it for free as a donation. Plan the different phases.
Excellent.
We have been discussing. So we wanted to do this project, and God sent in this, because who am I to go talk to HDR? You don't have money, you go and talk to a company that make more than $2 billion a year.
Eby, you did it.
Yeah, but God's grace, God touched the heart of these people. and they were able to accommodate us, kind of like holding us in their hands. So now they have done what they have done, and now they are standby for us to raise the funds for them to start the work.
Okay.
Break the ground and start the work.
Okay.
So this is what you do. So you get the people who can do it, who can run it, and you get the people who can build it. Because such a school, when you look at the portfolio of HDR and you look at what we have done across the world as a number, among the number the five top in that field. So we had to get a company like that can build that school and then know what we want, then know what the continent needs, then know what we have done across the world, and then know how to do what we want to do it at the best.
Okay. So now, like you said, this project need a lot of things.
Yes.
But if one thing doesn't happen, everything will not happen. Funding.
Yes.
What's going on that front? Where do you need the maximum effort put in? What's going on there?
Thank you for your question. So we set up the foundation here, and we have registered as a 501c3 foundation here in the US. So as I said, the foundation is what we are using to raise the fund to build the university. So you have to have that, so we can have public support, and so we can raise the funds. In Ghana, we have done the registration, also complete. So we have to complete these two things that are key. Ghana, you have the green light, and here you also have the green light to start the fundraising. So when we got all of this together, then this year, 2024, we have a few months ago, we started to openly start the fundraising. So actually on our website, people can donate, but whoever is out there who can reach out, because actually fundraising is all about networking. Who know who, and who someone knows. That is pretty much the thing. So what we are doing is not only even for Africa, because our target is the African youth. The youth who can just educate in those fields, who the day they walk out of the classroom, they are ready. Even before probably they walk out of the classroom, like people like Bill Gates or Zuckerberg, that whatever they did were born on campus.
Exactly.
They were born on campus. If I take the gentleman at the alumni guy at the University of Maryland who came to visit the university, his name is Brendan Iribe. Brendan Iribe is the founder of Oculus, that company, the billionaires. So when he came to campus and he see the old campus he attended, he said, I think we need something else. So he put $30 million out of pocket. The other alumni put 20 million, and Maryland State added 100 million to build that university. So that is what it takes. So where we are, anybody who can reach out to any company, to any country that is willing to give, we are here, we are waiting. And as I said, what we are doing is to develop Africa.
Yes.
Not only to develop Africa, but also the diaspora, for example. I think it's a school that the youth from the diaspora can attend, so we can benefit. They can just, the married opportunities in Africa, so we can take some of those opportunities. And what is at stake in Africa? That is a big deal. So Africa, as it is now, we're a continent of 11.73 million square miles. Out of that, Sub-Saharan Africa is 9.2 million square miles. Population-wise, we're 1.4 billion. Sub-Saharan Africa, 1.2 billion. In that population, we have 60% under 25, 70% under 30,
35. Yeah.
41% under 15. You have a continent, if you take Sub-Saharan Africa, is filled with the most coveted natural resources. By 2050, the GDP per research, the GDP of that region will be around $29 trillion by 2050. Even though the Africa Union is looking at 2063, where they say at that time, Africa will be okay with capacity. So Africa can fly with its own wing. Africa will not have that time to outsource too much, which costs too much money. But when you look at everything at stake, the question, if we don't have such schools like the one we want to build, then at the end of the day, how Africa get there? How Africa get to 2050? How Africa get to 2063? And will that GDP of 30 trillion or so dollars, how much will belong to Africa? If that $29 trillion GDP is not born from the hands of Africa, of course, in partnership and collaboration, working with the world, but at the end of the day, if this is driven by outside investment, outside technology, outside at that point, that $29 trillion, Africans will not.
Excellent. See, brother, now you are getting into something I really, really want Africans to understand.
Yes.
You see, it's not bad for investors to come to Africa and make money.
Yes.
The only thing that is bad right now is that Africans, we are not able to go out there and invest. And when that investment make money, we also repatriate our own profit.
The asset. Yes, the profit.
Okay. So repatriation of profits is only going one way.
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's the problem. So there's no problem for China, US, Europe, Asia, Middle East to come and invest in Africa. In fact, every country which has been developed were initially invested, the investors were all mostly foreigners. Every country, including the UK, US, China, everybody. Okay? The initial investors were foreigners. But there needs to be a time where the people, Africans, need to go out and start investing in that other country. But that will only happen if we become more self-reliant.
Yes.
If we become more, we get more educated, we build more companies, and our people start earning enough money that at the end of the day, you can save something. And then you go out there and say, where is my little money I have? Where can I invest it?
Yes.
Right now, Africans on the continent don't have any money to invest.
Yes.
Okay. So this is it. I just need to say this because a lot of young Africans don't understand how these things work.
Yes.
Okay. And they get angry when China, Russia, US, Europe come and invest in Africa. The problem is not investing. The problem is that we, as Africans on the continent, don't have liquid cash to go and invest in other countries.
Yes.
Okay. And we need to deal with that. And your project and other projects like yours will enable Africans to
And
be
I
able
want
to
to
do
add
that?
something to what you're saying.
Okay.
So companies, a lot of companies outside, why One Africa University is so important. Companies from outside, we want to invest. Tech companies, they have to load people, their staff,
Yeah,
qualified staff,
exactly.
load planes to bring them. And when they take them to Africa, they pay for expat and all of that. It costs them a whole lot of money. So which completely discourages them from even doing that.
Exactly.
So the capacity we are building, that is why I say corporate America. Let me say it louder. Corporate America, if you can hear me. What we are doing it for you too. Because when you support us to establish that university and we build the capacity down there, you can just get your suitcase and go into Africa.
Yeah.
Invest the money. Because the people are there ready to work. Whether it's whatever technology you want to, the different field that we have here that we want to, educate our children in, you will take your briefcase, you will go. We have qualified staff that are there to work with you. So at that point, you make more money, and Africa also make more money.
Make money, yeah.
Because there will be the transfer of technology. Because as you do, and we have the trained people right there, the transfer of technology will be done. And at the end of the day, you win and we win. So if corporate America can hear me, that is why you have to join us. So we join forces with people like companies like HDR who are making the sacrifice to support little guys with us. Join companies like HDR so we can together develop this project.
Fantastic, fantastic. My brother, tell me, what is the timeline you are looking at?
So actually that the different phases, we kind of like in the pre-development phase.
Okay.
Fundraising, organizing, and pre-development phase. And we're looking at that to go through, 2025, 2026.
Okay.
And from 2025, 2026, all the way to 2028, 2029, we're planning to open the doors of the school in school year 2029.
Oh, okay.
So that is what we're looking at. So that is why actually we're really working very hard to push to build the network. We need to really raise the funds, to build a school. And at the end of the day, what people are going to say, some people are going to say, "Oh, this is too expensive." Well, let me just remind people who say this is too expensive. Okay, Elon Musk went to Penn State, and Stanford. Where is Elon Musk today?
Is the richest man in the world.
Okay, Zuckerberg went to Harvard.
Yeah.
Where is Zuckerberg today? Bill Gates went to Harvard.
Yeah.
Where is Bill Gates is today? Sergey Brin and his friend who created
Stanford
they went to Stanford.
Yeah.
Where are they today? So I can name them. So can you imagine a second those who are saying a few $100 million too much money?
And it's not only about the individuals, it's about what they were able to build that impact the whole world.
Exactly. And for example, if I take the same schools, MIT, Stanford, and all of those schools, they were built in the 1800s, some in early 1900s. And today, those schools have trained the best mind, have transformed the world as I'm talking about.
In the world.
And those schools were built when Europe was at the level where Africa is today.
Oh yeah, correct.
So can you imagine if we establish such a school today in the next 10, 20, 30 years?
Yeah.
And for example, people who are out there who are listening to me today, the land, one can ask himself, how much is the land MIT sit on today? From the time it was acquired to build that school.
Yeah.
How much is the value of that land? Stanford, where Stanford is sitting here, from 1800 that land was acquired to today. How much this land is worth today? So people who are there who can hear me, if money is put in this land will be sitting there. And this land by 20, 30, 50
40,
years.
50 years. Yeah.
Will be, the value we know what if I compare with these universities. So at the end of the day, when you look at the success and what those schools have produced, Africa has to go the same way. You cannot cut corners. No, our schools must be the same school as what we see here. Reason why we take the plane and we fly thousands of miles away. Fly into Ghana to go to OAU, One Africa University. That is what we're trying to do. You save money. We build the capacity in Africa while they're on the ground. Our children, before they will finish, some will be Zuckerberg, some will be Elon Musk, some will be Bill Gates. When they finish, this will happen right there.
They stay in Africa.
In Africa.
Yeah. See, I love that. I love this. What you're doing is so important for Africa, for young Africans. Education. There's no other way. Nobody has devised a new way to acquire knowledge.
Yes.
Okay. You need to study. We need to study. Okay. We study from youth, from our home.
Yes.
And then go to school, primary school, secondary school, and maybe or some specialist schools for some technical things, and universities.
Yes.
Okay. This is the only way human beings know how to educate ourselves.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So see, for me, I actually believe that, like we mentioned earlier, we need at least 100 of these.
Exactly.
Great schools.
Exactly.
All around
and
the
I'll give you one
continent.
example. Can anybody tell me how many of such schools in Singapore? I look at the numbers, it is just mind-blowing.
Really?
The whole
That small
world,
place?
Singapore, the number of schools, those top schools in Singapore, it is unbelievable. It's a huge number of those schools right there.
So they built it.
Exactly. So as you're saying, we can have hundreds of those schools because when you look at the population,
Yes.
The youth. And by 2050, by the way, by 2050, Sub-Saharan Africa will add 950 million people to cities. So I repeat again, by 2050, Sub-Saharan Africa will add 950 million people to cities, in addition to what we
have right now.
So can you just imagine a second, with that young population, with the natural resources, with the GDP we talk about, with development, can you imagine a second the schools will need to make sure that economic force is deployed in a proper way?
Now, my brother, see, you are looking at the top, okay?
Yes.
See, for the kind of candidates your school will be looking at, we need them to be properly educated at lower levels.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So right now, I don't know how many good primary and secondary schools we have on the continent.
Well,
we don't have enough.
This is another area, and in one of the posts I mentioned my elementary school that I attended. I'm 52, and I look at that school today. The situation is it just makes me cry. It just breaks my heart. So from elementary schools, middle schools, high schools, colleges across the world, across Africa, the conditions are not good. And also, even despite those harsh conditions we are in, we see some bright minds.
Oh, yeah.
But when throughout these difficulties, enormous difficulties, and those young, bright minds struggle to get out of those elementary, middle, and high schools. If they had a safe harbor, a university, like what we're talking about, where they are trained, will get the best still out of this system.
Yeah.
And as we produce the best out of the system and we harbor them in such a university where we know tomorrow they will succeed.
Yeah.
The success will also feed
the pipeline, build better schools and all that.
Yeah, see, because those young minds will be, there will be the call.
Yeah.
That will say, okay, we have to power the bottom. So it's like this chain. And my brother, when I look at how genius our young people are, despite the struggles, I look at my two young kids today. They read like crazy. My kids can get actually 12, I mean, soon to be 13 and 14 and a half. They can pick up a 300-page book and read it in just a few days.
Wow. Fantastic.
I cannot count the number of books they have read.
Fantastic.
And these are kids who are good at excelling every subject. I feel blessed. I look at myself. At the age I didn't have books of my own to read. Beside the school books. Beside the school book, what we buy for the school, the class, we didn't have extra books. So this is, you know, why it is so important for us to really, really revamp the entire system. Yeah. But we want to make sure at least those ones who are able to crawl out of that system, difficult system, they get a safe harbor with great universities where we can make, can just turn that light of
make it brighter. Yes.
Yes, brighter, so they can be productive.
Okay, good. Now, you also mentioned that there are opportunities for Africans in diaspora.
Yes.
In this on this project.
Yes.
What are they?
Thank you very much. And before I talk about this, I'm gonna also talk about the programs of the foundation.
Okay.
So the foundation, even though we're using it as a vehicle to raise the funds to build the school, the foundation has great programs. The programs we have are the promotion of women, empowerment of women in STEM education. We have the physically challenged young people, the handicapped young people. Every day when I see the bus pulling up for special, those kids who really need that physical support. When in the US here, I see the bus pulling up to get them, I have a lot of smile. But that lot of smile on my face just make me think about Africa. So those young people in Africa, when they have these conditions, it's like a sentence to death. That richness, that power sitting in them are never exploited. Recently, I put a post on LinkedIn where I talk about Stephen Hawking from England was given a chance. Let's give our Stephen Hawking in Africa a chance. So that means the young people who are physically challenged, we want to make sure those young people, they get the scholarship, room and board. Make sure the accessibility of the campus, those young people can roll the wheelchair everywhere and have full access and full living to be productive. And also, you look at our student. If you take maybe over 90, 95, 96, 97% of the students are poor. They don't have the money. They cannot afford the resources to the books and whatever, computers, they cannot afford. Maybe like 90%. Make sure we have enough scholarships out there for those young people. And also, fourth, what we call the seedling programs. The seedling programs are magnet programs in elementary level, at the elementary level, middle and high school level, where, for example, we help those young, we set up some little centers where we help the young people to empower them with our STEM learning. So they can just do STEM and be at the best. So when they get to high school, they have a good scores to be able to attend, our university. So it's something that we want to do because we can give some of those things they need. We can give some to teachers they can use to, to get them to practice in the classroom.
Yeah.
So we want to assist them with a lot of things we can do to make sure through our organization we can just support those little guys.
Yeah.
Good.
Good.
To power them up.
Excellent.
So these are
Excellent.
the four main programs we have.
Okay.
And coming back to your last question again, let me come back to it again.
Yeah,
said,
about what Africans in diaspora.
Yes, the diaspora.
Yes.
So the diaspora is this issues. This is a big deal, because as I say, the world economy there are challenges, and mostly in the West, it's going to be much more challenging. The opportunities are going to be scarce. The diaspora family is part of the African family.
Yep.
They came to this part of the world, through what we all know.
Yep.
But today, the young people, the more challenges we're getting, the tougher it's going to be for them to climb the corporate ladder. When you look at the corporate ladder here for them, it is very difficult. We have only a few, very, very few people who have made it. But when you look at the opportunities I have laid out in Africa today, if those young people here, they go to school, to our schools in Africa, to a school like One Africa University, those trillions and billions of opportunities that are coming to Africa, they are there on the ground in our university. Not only they culturally immerse, which is very important.
Yeah.
They earn the degrees. When they finish the degrees, they are culturally immersed, and they will seize those opportunities to create the companies to prosper, to settle down in Africa, and more will follow. So this is why we believe, to the people of African diaspora who are out there who can hear me.
Yeah.
This One Africa University is not just for African youth. It's for the youth of the African diaspora.
Yeah.
And for what I have laid out, it is clear that if most of our young people attend, in diaspora here in the West, attend this school, all what I'm saying here will be part of history.
Yep. Wow. Woo! I'm so excited about this project. See, this is just the beginning.
Yes.
I know you have some challenges, like
Yes.
any great project will face challenges, but the process of working through these challenges are beneficial for you and the foundation and any other person involved in it.
Yes.
Hey, brother Eby, I'm excited.
Yes.
I am excited. Wow. Man, we need to continue talking. We need to continue talking.
Yes, sir.
Wow,
yes,
wow, wow. Let's close this on this note. What else do you need to continue this this project?
Thank you very much. Thank you for this last question. And as I have said, we now fundraising. We do the fundraising, and that is what will get us there.
Yeah.
And the call I'm launching again is to corporate America, the world corporate, Africans themselves.
Yeah.
Our African people who have seen success in their lives, we're calling them. When you look at the team we have gathered, the company we have brought on board to do this work, this means the seriousness of what we're doing.
Yeah.
Established. So all we need is the support from all of you out there, the people in Africa, the African diaspora. We're calling you to join us because this is for us. We want our leaders and African government and regional organizations of the African Union to join us to adopt that project, to endorse this project, to make sure we make this project a reality. We have worked hard, 4 years, tirelessly. I don't sleep. This is more than a full-time job. It's been more than a full-time job for me every day.
Wow.
But I know nothing good comes easy.
Oh, yeah.
There are those who even gave their lives before us. We have to carry on. But we have to carry on in a meaningful way to make sure tomorrow is good, to make sure the wealth underneath our feet in Africa, we want to make sure we are able to transform these resources, this wealth, monetize this wealth to make sure it can benefit our people.
Yeah.
Because our people deserve better. No one will come to make our people's lives better. We have to make it ourselves. People can contribute to our effort, but nobody else will do it for us. So I'm calling everybody to join us in this project. The journey has been, as I've been laying out, the journey has been long, but it was a vision, not a vision for self-betterment, but for a betterment of a whole continent, and mostly our young people. We see our young people crossing the desert, dying in the desert, die in the seas, while fleeing a land that is the wealthiest in the world. I repeat that. Our young people are dying in the desert. They are dying in the Mediterranean Sea, fleeing the land that is the wealthiest in the world.
Yeah.
So we have to make sure we work together to turn things around. And One Africa University, we need, as you say, hundreds of such universities in Africa. We need the support for all to make this a reality.
Wow. Brother Eby.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for this session. I mean, I wish you the best on this project. I mean, I'm not just saying for you to succeed, because I believe you will succeed on this project.
Thank you.
But I wish you the best in terms of enjoying the project.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And on my part, I wanted to thank you on behalf of the entire team, One Africa University team. I wanted to thank you for all you are doing for the continent.
Thank you.
You have done many of these, these interviews.
Sessions, yeah.
Done many these sessions.
Yeah.
And you're selfless. This is your donation.
Yeah.
To us. Your selfless service to this continent. You are also making history.
Thank you.
Because these will be in the archives of the continent. And I want to thank you. May God bless you, keep you strong, keep you healthy. And I wish also my greetings to your beautiful daughters.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Yes.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks a million. Bye-bye.